Most people think manipulation is something that happens to the weak, to the naive, the soft-hearted, the unguarded. But the truth is far darker. Manipulation feeds on something much deeper, our need to control what we can't. Every time you beg for closure, every time you replay an argument in your head, every time you try to make someone see your worth, you're handing over your power. You're not being controlled by them. You're being controlled by your own attachment to how things should be. That's the trap. And Epictetus, a man who was born a slave, uncovered the secret centuries ago. He said, "You can't be enslaved by what you don't depend on." His words weren't theory, they were survival. Imagine being owned, beaten, silenced, yet discovering a kind of freedom no master could touch, the kind of freedom that can't be taken, only surrendered. Modern life is full of invisible chains: social approval, romantic validation, fear of rejection, the need to be right. And every one of them pulls your mind further away from peace. But Epictetus revealed something terrifying. If you can detach your mind from what you can't control, no one can touch you. That's the ancient secret. And once you see it, once you live it, you become impossible to manipulate. Epictetus was born a slave. Imagine that. From the very first breath, your body belongs to someone else. You eat when they allow it. You sleep where they tell you. Your future, your freedom, your very choices, all in the hands of someone else. And yet, he discovered a truth more powerful than any chains. The mind cannot be owned unless you give it away. This wasn't philosophy as an abstract exercise, it was survival. Epictetus realized that control is an illusion when it comes from others. True freedom comes from understanding exactly what belongs to you and what doesn't. Your thoughts, your judgments, your actions, yours. Everything else, the approval of others, the unpredictable swings of fortune, the attempts to manipulate your desires, none of it belongs to you. Think about it in modern terms. Every relationship where you feel drained, every friendship where you're walking on eggshells, every workplace where you overcompensate to avoid criticism, that is manipulation. Not just by others, but by your own willingness to surrender your inner control. When you cling to outcomes, when your sense of worth depends on how others treat you, you become predictable, pliable, vulnerable. You hand your power over without even realizing it. Epictetus would ask, why give away what is already yours to protect what never was? The secret lies in this razor-sharp awareness, an awareness that draws a line between what you can influence and what you cannot. Your mind becomes a fortress when you stop treating external events and other people's judgments as commands you must obey. Consider a man at a party, trying to impress a crowd he doesn't respect. Every laugh he forces, every opinion he tailors, he is shackled by the invisible strings of their judgment. Contrast that with a man who has internalized Epictetus's secret. He speaks when he wants, laughs when he feels, and walks away when the room grows toxic. Nothing rattles him. No one's approval, no subtle manipulation, no veiled criticism, nothing touches him. It's not arrogance, it's a subtle, terrifying mastery. He has detached his mind from the machinery of others' control. He has learned the ancient rule: if it is not yours, it cannot command you. And yet, the difficulty is immediate. This is why so few people practice it. Detachment is not indifference. It is not passivity. It is active mastery. It is the courage to accept that the world will try to move you, to seduce you, to bend you, and the only way to remain free is to refuse to yield to what is outside your ownership. Even Epictetus struggled. He writes in fragments, hints of frustration lacing his lessons. Because awareness alone is not enough. You must practice it relentlessly. The mind is seductive. It constantly wants control over what it cannot control. To detach is to fight yourself. To be free is to battle desire, attachment, and fear at every turn. And this is where the power becomes terrifying. A person who has internalized this principle can walk into the most manipulative situations and remain untouched. They are emotionally invisible in a world where emotional responses are currency. The manipulator, the deceiver, the seducer, they strike, but the target no longer responds. The trap fails. The bait is ignored. The mind, anchored in its own jurisdiction, is untouchable. Epictetus' wisdom, distilled, is simple in phrasing, but monumental in effect. Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. The ancient Stoic meant that everything external, power, wealth, praise, insult, can never truly belong to you. Only your response, your judgment, your reason, only these are inviolable. Understand this, and you are impossible to manipulate. Fail to internalize it, and every whisper of influence, every subtle attempt at persuasion will worm its way into your mind. It is heavy, unavoidable, uncomfortable. The world will constantly attempt to rewrite your desires, bend your will, and make you dance to its rhythm. But once you claim your mind as your own, you step off the stage. You observe the performance without being pulled into it, and the freedom you gain is not theoretical. It is immediate, visceral, and intoxicating.
Walk into a boardroom, a dating scene, or even a family dinner, and you'll see it everywhere. Invisible strings pulling at the edges of your mind. Every smile you force, every word you moderate, every subtle nod to someone else's ego. That is manipulation in its most ordinary form. Most people think they're acting freely, but the truth is, they are dancing to music someone else is composing. Consider relationships. How many times have you bent yourself to someone else's expectations? Maybe it's your partner's subtle criticisms, their silent judgments, the tiny ways they shape your choices. Perhaps it's the fear of rejection that makes you reply the way you think they want, or the desperate need to be liked that convinces you to suppress what you truly feel. Every concession, every compromise of your inner reasoning is a leash, and no one even needs to be aware they are controlling you. Your attachment does it for them. Now imagine a man who has internalized Epictetus' secret. He feels, he chooses, he acts, and none of it is contingent on another person's approval. When his partner criticizes, he listens, but he does not shrink. When someone attempts to provoke jealousy or insecurity, he recognizes the impulse and allows it to dissolve without response. He is no longer a puppet to the subtle manipulations that dominate ordinary human interactions. And paradoxically, this independence makes him magnetic. Strength, calm, and detachment are silent forces women sense immediately. It's not arrogance, it's the absence of psychological vulnerability that draws attention, respect, even desire. The same principle applies to society. Think about your workplace. You know the type: colleagues who subtly undermine, bosses who wield authority through intimidation, co-workers who gossip and manipulate through suggestion. The average person reacts. They over-explain, they justify, they attempt to regain control over the uncontrollable. They fall prey to the invisible pressure of others' wills. But the person anchored in their own judgment, who has separated what belongs to them from what does not, moves untouched through it. The manipulator strikes, but there is no impact. the provocation falls flat. They operate in a world of influence, yet they remain untouched. Even more personal is how this principle protects your emotional life. Every expectation we place on others, that they should validate us, love us, recognize us, is a trap. It is invisible handcuffs disguised as hope. By surrendering the need for these outcomes, you reclaim your power. You stop living according to scripts written by others. You stop performing to meet invisible standards. And once that barrier is gone, you see people as they are, not as threats or threats to your ego. Your clarity becomes your shield. Yet the challenge is immediate. Modern culture conditions you to rely on approval and fear rejection. Social media is a perfect laboratory of manipulation. Likes, comments, shares, each one a subtle tug on your attention, your mood, your self-worth. The moment you measure your value against this external feedback, you are being manipulated. But the moment you internalize Epictetus's distinction, what is yours, what is not, you break free. You can scroll, post, or interact untouched by praise or insult. Your mind becomes a fortress in a world designed to invade it. Even emotional manipulation in friendships, family, or romantic relationships becomes harmless. When a friend attempts guilt or a partner attempts to provoke jealousy, the anchored mind simply observes. It feels, it acknowledges, but it does not respond reflexively. It understands the illusion of control others attempt to exert and refuses to engage. In practice, this creates a quiet power. No one can make you doubt yourself. No one can force your hand. No one can pull strings you do not hand over willingly. And the strange, almost paradoxical truth is this: freedom from manipulation is not isolation. It is intimacy with your own mind. The less dependent you are on external validation, the more you can engage authentically with others. People sense it. They may not understand it, but they feel the absence of your vulnerability to their influence. You walk into conversations and emerge unscathed. You speak, listen, and act with a calm certainty that makes others pause. This is the ancient secret living in modern skin. Finally, consider personal growth. Those who resist Epictetus's lesson are stuck in cycles of reaction, resentment, anger, regret, and compromise. Their decisions are guided by fear of others' control. Those who practice it, however, redirect their energy entirely inward. They invest in skill, thought, and deliberate action rather than defending against the invisible forces of manipulation. In a world that constantly seeks to bend you, the mind that recognizes its own boundaries and maintains its sovereignty becomes untouched, powerful, and ultimately free.
Never hand over your mind. This is the first law. Every moment you surrender your judgment to someone else, consciously or unconsciously, you are weakening your freedom. Do not argue to convince. Do not over-explain to appease. Do not react to every jab or whisper. The less you depend on others' opinions, the less they can touch you. This is not pride, it is survival. Detach from outcomes. Your life is not a chessboard where other people's moves dictate your strategy. Focus on your actions, your intentions, your reasoning. The world will attempt to manipulate you through desire, fear, and expectation. Let it, watch it, but never let it dictate your internal state. The more you cling to outcomes, the more visible your strings become. Detachment is your invisible armor. Do not seek validation. Every like, every compliment, every sign of approval you crave is a lever someone can pull. When you stop needing it, you are untouchable. Your value is inherent, defined by your principles, your discipline, your reason. Approval becomes optional, not necessary. People will attempt to manipulate you by stroking your ego or threatening your pride. Refuse to hand it over. Observe, do not absorb. Manipulation thrives in the untrained mind. Every guilt trip, every provocation, every veiled attempt to steer your emotions is designed to create a reaction. The moment you recognize it and do not react, the power evaporates. Your calm becomes your weapon. Your observation becomes your shield. Emotional detachment is not indifference, it is mastery. Understand your boundaries. Most people are manipulated because they fail to define the invisible perimeter of their mind. Decide what belongs to you and what does not. If it is not yours, someone else's desire, expectation, or control, it cannot command you. Practice this relentlessly. Set it in thought, breathe it into action, embody it in every decision. Your boundaries are your fortress. Finally, embrace discomfort. The mind resists detachment because it is seductive to cling. To remain free is to confront fear, anger, and desire at every turn. Every attempt to manipulate you will test your discipline. You will want to react. You will want to justify. You will want to surrender. Resist. This is the crucible of your freedom. Every time you withstand it, you grow more untouchable, more sovereign, more alive. Live as if no one can control you, because in truth, no one can. Not your partner, not your boss, not your friends, not the crowd's whispers. The only chains that exist are the ones you accept. Remove them, and you step into a power so quiet, so profound, that manipulation bounces harmlessly off your mind. The truth is merciless. You live in a world designed to pull your strings, to exploit your attachments, to bend your mind to the will of others. Every whisper, every subtle influence, every calculated expectation, it all seeks to claim a piece of you. And yet, centuries ago, a man named Epictetus discovered the escape hatch. The mind cannot be taken unless you hand it over. Freedom is terrifying because it requires vigilance. It requires facing every impulse, every desire, every fear, and saying, "This is mine. This is not." The moment you surrender even a fraction, the world moves in, and the invisible chains tighten. But the moment you claim your mind fully, completely, irrevocably, nothing can touch you. You become a force untethered by expectation, untouched by manipulation, immune to the subtle seductions that control the ordinary. Imagine walking through life while invisible hands try to pull you into their traps, and every attempt fails. Imagine observing every provocation, every deception, every subtle push and pull, and responding with nothing but clarity. You are untouchable. You are sovereign. You are quiet. And in that quiet lies unimaginable power. Yet remember, it is not effortless. It is a relentless practice, a daily confrontation with yourself and the world. Every moment of distraction, every lapse into attachment, every surrender of your judgment is a step back into slavery. The price of freedom is eternal awareness. Epictetus' secret is simple but relentless. Nothing outside your mind can control you unless you allow it. Live it, think it, feel it. And when the world tries to bend you, you will not bend. When others attempt to manipulate, you will remain untouched. The chains snap around everyone else, but you walk free. A silent, unstoppable force in a world that cannot touch you. This is the ancient secret, still alive today. The world will try, and you, if you have learned it, will be impossible to manipulate.